but this has always been a good time, so let's see what this new update has in store for us, shall we? Now, a couple things. There are some weapons I do not remember seeing, so I think it got a few other smaller updates since the last time I touched this as well. But the most important part of this update, can I actually... no, I can't really show you too well yet because we haven't gotten much of it. But to just give you the basic idea of what I've seen of the newest mechanic they've added to Rogue Genesia, there is now equipment. In addition to the cards and the weapons, you can actually find armor and accessories and things like that. Much like some of the newer Survivor-style games have had, they've basically added that on top of the game. As you can see, I've played this a bit, for those that don't know. Oh, there we go, there's the equipment system. Which, the equipment seems to carry over, which is interesting. You've got a head slot, chest armor, shield, gloves, legs, boots, and 2 accessories. There we go. I was trying to figure out how to get the second accessory to work, because when I just clicked on the other one before, it didn't work. Like when I just tried to just straight equip it, it just went, no, you can't do that. And it got mad at me. It basically just kept swapping the 2 stones back and forth, and that wasn't helpful, as you might imagine. Yeah, a lot of these things we don't have anything to do with yet. Another thing they added is... Now, I don't know if this was this update or if it was just since I last played, because it easily could have been since I last played, considering it's been a while at this point. I think I last played this, like, 4 or 5 months ago, something like that. But yeah, there's also even more talents than there were before, including active talents that start you with certain weapons. As you can see, I have a decent amount of the weapons available, including this one, which I unlocked last night when I was testing the update out to see if it was going to be enough to convince me to stream the game again. And honestly, this is a good just time killer game anyway, so it works out on that score. Do I want to do something silly to start off? I mean, I feel like the answer to that is always yes. You know what? It's been a while since we've done the good old spinning death wheel. Actually, yeah, that'll work perfectly. Increase damage to enemies that are close to you, and the Thunderstaff only hits things that are close to me. Extra projectiles will, of course, make the Thunderstaff more effective. Yes, 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 yes. We can also make the game more difficult by raising the corruption. I'm not going to mess with that too much right now, because I still haven't gotten a completion on C rank. So we'll go ahead and just go there. There's also full-on other characters that are available, including the gunslinger who actually has different weapons. I don't know if the duelist actually has different weapons or not. I've not actually used the duelist at all. I have used the rogue a little bit. The rogue is pretty fun. There's also the summoner and the shopkeeper that I still need to get, which actually we might get the summoner today if I get to the necromancer. Depends on how much the memes backfire on me. Which, in case people are worried about this going too badly for me, bear in mind, I have spent a bit of soul energy getting talents in this game. Just a little bit. I've got a little bit of an edge. Just a touch. Just a touch of power. Speaking of, may as well spend the points I got on the last run I did. Which I purposely threw that run before I finished it, because I wanted to sleep. Because I did this, like, at the end of the night last night. There we go. It does take a little bit to load back to the main screen for some reason, and that's been a consistent thing since this update, from what I've noticed. Which is a little odd, but not gonna worry too much about it. Yeah, ROG mode, C rank. I don't have a pet, because you have to buy pets. They are, as far as I know, purely cosmetic. It's mostly just a way to toss a couple extra bits at the developer, which is always good. Okay. Yeah, and we need to do that world rank in order to get challenges, but examples of challenges are things like this. You can only have 2 weapons through the entire run doing the dual wield challenge. Shopkeeper's just gone. Things of that nature. They do make for some very complicated runs sometimes. Like, I think I filled out... Yeah, I filled out a good chunk of the challenges in F and E ranks back when I was playing a lot more. So some of those challenges were kicking my ass, but... Enough about that. Let's actually get the gameplay, shall we? Something that changed is there's actually a different starting area now. You don't have to just do the forest. There's a ice forest now, which I will go ahead and take you guys there because it proved to be interesting when I tested it last night. I still remember when this map ran weird and would always have issues. I do appreciate that they show you the types of enemies you'll deal with in stages now, too. Not that they seem to vary too much in the same stage, but, you know, it's just a nice thing to have, nice information and all that. Yeah, right now, we're gonna be kind of weak because the Thunderstaff doesn't start off crazy strong. But it is nice to be able to, like, dedicate a starting weapon rather than hoping that you get what you want. I don't really want the sword rank too much right now. Sure, give me icicles. I've never... Arcane Beam's another new weapon. You know what? Sure. Give me that. Let's goof around with that while we get the spinning death machine going. I will shoot things with lasers. Magic Wand's kind of too easy. Won't go with that right now. Oh yeah, the thing I was talking about before with tooltips. Literally everything that has an underlining has a tooltip to explain it to you now. I don't remember there being nearly so many of these tooltips before. This game was always good about being upfront with information to begin with, but all these extra tooltips will make especially new players have a much easier time understanding things, and I wholeheartedly approve of that. Because this also gives you breakdowns of how it actually mechanically affects things, which is fantastic. Go ahead and just keep upgrading the Arcane Beam till we see more Thunderstaff upgrades. Oh yeah, and over here in the game tab, you'll notice the ice thing was labeled as a weapon modifier. Now instead of those being global effects, you actually have to attach them specifically to the weapon you want it affecting, which is kind of neat. Here's a breakdown of everything you've picked up so far. Here's where you access the equipment system at this part of the time. Check your talents in case you came back after or a while. All of your stats, if you want to just go full number porn, there you go, there it is. It's a fucking lot. But it can be very useful. It all in the end really depends on how deep in you want to go. Which personally, as with most things, I ride along on the surface, but, you know, it's one of those things. Go ahead and get myself some more power. I gotta love those little blue lizards just getting collateral damaged by the Deathbeam when I'm shooting it at these spear guys. They're just waddling along and then suddenly they just exploded. I mean, if you're gonna keep giving me more arcane beam upgrades, I'm gonna keep caking more arcane beam upgrades. The red laser you see pointing out of Rog here, by the way, is where I'm pointing the laser to fire it. Because everything in this game is aimable. You know, plus or minus things that are circular around yourself. You could aim them, but what would it do? Pickup range wouldn't be a bad idea, but area size is gonna be more effective for us right now. Treasure. Yes, half off prices in all the shops. More projectiles and longer lifetime for my staff. Very good, very good. Projectile lifetime does exactly what it says on the tin, as does amount of projectiles. Attack speed does affect everything that attacks, so that will be useful. Because it means our laser will go off more often, it'll mean our little orbs will spawn in more often. It's just good across the board for us. We want more projectile duration so that the orbs last longer. Eventually, this laser will last long enough I can just spin it around myself and everything will be destroyed, probably. And that'll be fun. You can really thrive in this game off of the most jank, silly ideas. Especially at the point I'm at where I've got a lot of meta progression behind me. I can get away with a lot. Because ordinarily I think you start with like 2 dashes or something like that. I've since purchased the ability to have like 6. So I can just kind of jankily dodge my way out of problems. Keep raising our projectiles. That's the power of shops being half off coming into play there. Statue of Vild, which would give me more wild cards. Or the Statue of Sola, which gives us sun cards. Sun cards are usually ones that give you, like, experience boosts and things like that, since it's related to knowledge, and wild, of course, will keep you alive since it's related to health. I'll take Sola. 100% more chance of sun cards to show up. Each banished soul card. Ooh, that'll be useful later. Because I am going to start banishing things at some point. Speaking of, I don't really need more dash charges. Just go ahead and banish that. Brawl, no. Go ahead and banish these as well. I don't need them. Just throw them away. You also don't start with nearly as many of these charges down here, but since I have spent the time, I am rewarded with the capacity to do silly things like throw away all of the useful effects and keep only garbage. Because it can be fun to do it that way sometimes. Speaking of, banish the wand. If you're thinking I'm purposely banishing a lot of the other weapons just so I can use only a couple of them, you'd be right. It also keeps them from popping up all the time and interfering with me getting what I want. And this is one of the neat little side objectives you can have sometimes. In this case, we have to actually protect the shopkeeper in addition to keeping ourselves alive, which with our current setup is actually going to go really poorly. Or, there we go, they hit the shopkeeper now. I just need to keep them from destroying it to get rewarded, though, so it'll be fine. The last time I had one of these pop up, I had such a ridiculous setup going that they couldn't even touch the shopkeeper, let alone do damage. It looks like we can distract them a bit, because they are still focused on us. The shopkeeper just happens to be in the way. This is also a neat thing, the fact that some of these are actually area specific now. Which defense shredding is actually really helpful. Because as the enemies scale, their defense is going to get higher and higher, in addition to them gaining more health. So a bit of defense shredding means you can just punch through regardless. These elites are going to be a little bit of an issue. Thankfully, we've only got to hold out for 15 more seconds. What I really want to do, actually, is get the Thunder Orbs closer to myself so I can actually engage the Buzzsaw properly. There we go. Grab all that money. We left some of the experience on the table, but all that money will be more worthwhile, probably, since we can just buy cards anyway. I don't know what to do with these potions. They're all timed, so I assume you can just, like, use them actively, but I've never interacted with them, so I'm not sure. Max power staff. Well, it's not actually max, because there's a funny thing you can do in this game. Let me take a look. Should I explain it? No, there's a way to do it, so I'll explain it when we get there. Basically, when we get to the blacksmith, you'll understand what I mean by there being more than max level for things. Oh yeah, we have... Yeah, the Rune of Accuracy is attached to the Arcane Beam right now. That's fine. Because as you can see, it only can go on one thing at a time. But the neat thing is you can just move it freely. You can just pause whenever and flip them. You also have a list of your banished cards, which we didn't cover before, but it was listed there pretty obviously, so you should have been able to figure that out anyway. Look at how big the beam is getting. Screen-wide beam. The crystal sword is a lot of fun. Should I grab it? No, it kind of interferes with what I'm doing here a little bit. I won't banish it, because I'll keep it in mind. But I think I'll make that its own thing after this one. Thermophobia. A lot of power multiplier, higher drop chance on fire cards, and you lose defense. That's fine. Who needs defense when you have giant laser? Hey there, Lexi, how you doing today? Behold my giant laser. Hopefully work's going well. Always appreciate you dropping in when you get a chance. Thank you. I'm glad to hear it. There we go. Chance to set enemies on fire is always fun. I need to start getting rid of these elites, though. They're just gonna keep following me around if I don't. Sure. I have to get closer to things, but I get faster experience. I'm starting to do that thing where I'm just flying through these, so need be, I can always look at the list later if people are confused why things are working the way they are. Sure. Go for some concentration. Like, once you're used to this game, it's very easy to just fly through the card selector, like, at crazy speed. It's like, yes, I want that. This one? Yes, that one. That one? Yes, that one. And just keep flying. But as you might imagine, I'm grabbing all that experience boosting so that I can just get more cards. Because as soon as I start getting more cards, I can then undo the damage that the defense drop does, if I even decide to worry about the defense drop. I am going to raise our pickup range, though, to balance out the pickup range we lost from the other one. Oh no, we've finally been hit because they fired a projectile at us. What a world, what a world. I don't actually want that. I will keep Wrath around, though. That's actually a pretty effective bonus. Because every crate you destroy makes your area size bigger temporarily. So if we just, like, spun the laser around, we could make our area size massive. What I'm actually going to do is grab a movable object. Because it will make any time I'm standing still make our attacks ridiculous temporarily. Or is it only defensive now? I only half read that, if I'm honest. I'll double check once we can look at it. Did I... no. 150% power multiplier. It's both. You get a lot more damage mitigation, and you hit a lot harder. Being immune to knockback really isn't that important. I didn't even remember this game had knockback. Aside from on enemies. Because pushing them back's important. Reducing stage requirements is actually a double-edged sword, because you get less experience because you kill less each stage. But it gets you through stages faster, and I think we're strong enough that I can get away with that. Yeah, go ahead and go for lightweight. Just keep attacking faster and faster. And since we got that 60,000 experience from the previous box there, I'm gonna have a couple cards to select, probably. Finish your movable object. Yes, Thunder Spirit. Thunder Spirit's another weapon attachment one, though. Okay. I actually want concentration to be over here. I didn't realize concentration was specific to a card now. That used to be a stat one as well. Yeah, we do want Thunder Spirit on the Arcane Beam, though. Basically, as the beam's going out, now it'll have a chance to do Arc Lightning off of the beam, which will just get steadily more and more absurd. Or at least that's the hope. Ooh. That seems really cool. Staff of Storms, the evolution of Thunder Staff and Thunder Spirit. When an enemy is killed by a Staff of Storms, an enemy is struck by thunder for 500% damage. Yes. Now my little swirling shield of death is all going to be a lot stronger. But did I lose the... No, I didn't lose the Thunder Spirit. Excellent. It just replaced the Thunder Staff because it basically just turned into a better version of it. Which, that's another thing that makes this game really neat, is just about every weapon has evolutions to it now. Provided they've caught up and gotten through all of them. I know that was something they were working on, and I don't know if they got to every single weapon, but a lot of them have evolutions. So I do think we have to unlock them by leveling the weapon enough, so I probably don't have all of them that exist unlocked. I will go back to the regular forest to show off one of the most marketable features this game has that's in the regular forest, just because I think people need to see that. Sure. At this point, I'll go ahead and trade one projectile for a lot of attack speed. Because we've got a good storm of projectiles going around me now, and this way the beam just keeps beaming. Keep raising that Staff of Storms. Ooh, Electric Corruption. Neat. I don't know what that does. Oh, that bear's fast. You know what? We've already got stuff spinning around us. Let's add sword rangs now. Just look at the storm of swords just flying around. It just gets so dumb, and that's what I love about this game. It's just how dumb everything involved is. No. We do have Fire Spirit, so Pyromaniac is worthwhile at the moment. Go ahead and get our health back to normal. Okay, we got a time limit to kill 700 monsters, huh? Oh yeah, the Thunderstaff has an active ability due to the talent I picked. How do I even use that? Because that's another thing that wasn't around before. Activate active talent. Okay. Oh, it just adds a ring of projectiles. Okay, that's terrifying with our setup. That's going to be fantastic to use. It looks like it only takes a portion of the meter to use, so that's gonna be disgusting in the right situations, like right now. Or they're all dead already, never mind. Just pure power. Who's the monster now? More projectile duration. There's a shop over here, so we'll head on that way. I will admit, in the Boreal Forest, the sword rangs are a little tricky to see. But trust me when I say, they're there. There's lots of them flying around. They're all over the place. And they're certainly being a menace, as they should be. So I'm pretty confident that the giant beam of doom is definitely doing the majority of the work here. If for nothing else, because it has the range of yes. I'm leaving so much behind right now, and it makes me sad. I need to get the other level of Void Spirit so I stop leaving so much stuff behind. It is so upsetting to see all those gems get left behind. But we're at the wrong spot right now between being effective and being able to clean up after ourselves. We are very effective, but we are completely incapable of cleaning up after ourselves in an efficient manner. I could get another level of Thunder Spirit. Get the sword rang. Give me a reroll. We could start getting our crit chance up. Really should start getting some health. That is over 100% more power. That is actually really tempting. And it is a 1-level card, so let's go ahead and get that out of the pool. Grab us some more reroll charges, reroll the shop again. Get some more projectile size, and I think I'll hold on to the last little bit of our money. Swarms are fun because they are just tons of enemies. Though I'm an idiot. I am a horrible idiot because I took us away from the blacksmith. Though it doesn't matter anyway because I wasn't gonna be able to show the thing I wanted to show since I had upgraded the Thunder Staff to the Staff of Storms. What I was going to show you all is there's a limit break service at the blacksmith. If a weapon is at its highest level, you can get it past max level by spending money at the blacksmith. Hence why it wasn't actually the last level it could have. And there used to be a trick where you could push it 2 levels past. Like if you got the option to buy a level up for it from a shop, and then you got it in the card selector in the shop, you could get it to 7 and then 8, and then limit break would bring it to 9. Sure, we'll take Balanced Assault. So I'm not really focusing on crit right now. Nor do I really need to with the volume of hits we're getting all the time right now. We could just whip out a katana, but no, actually, rarity reroll that. No. No, yes. you might have just seen a crazy amount of gems fly towards us when we picked that up. It sure was a thing. Let's make our projectiles bigger. This way you can see the swords better and see the orbs a little clearer as the storm of shots just spins around us. Yeah, let's go ahead and grab Ice Spirit. Ice Spirit can actually go ahead and be attached to the sword rangs, so it has something. Because I've poured entirely too much into the Arcane Beam here. It's just getting silly. Need to share the love a little bit. Because as it stands, all I have to do is sweep it across the screen and the screen disappears. I feel like that's plenty. I mean, I'm running around with negative defense and atrocious health. I've gone full mage. Ooh, taking damage increases your damage by 50% for 6 seconds. Okay. Yeah, go ahead and make our projectile speed faster. Yeah, we can only access shops instead of the blacksmith from here, and I also spent too much money, I think, to be able to actually properly do the limit break anyway. Because it is expensive. We would have been able to limit break the beam, though, which would have been nice. This one's fun. I get half the gold, but I get 3 times the experience gain multiplier, so I'll take that. I'll take that in a heartbeat. No, I don't actually want overloaded right now, I don't think. Actually, no, let's get that out of the way, because we can easily balance it out with lightweight right here. This way we get the extra projectiles, and we don't lose too much attack speed. Sure, bigger projectiles. It used to be, I think you had to kill some elites in order to trigger the boss. Now you have to charge these altars, which I think is a better way to handle it, because you actually have some danger because you're stuck in place doing these. Whereas by the time you get to the first boss, you're usually able to shred elites like they're made out of paper. So it's usually not too much of a thing to kill elites. Unless you're playing a really weird setup or on a very, very high difficulty setup. I do think it's a little annoying that I have to touch this exact spot to activate it, though. That could do a little with a little bit of tuning. Just make it like touch the altar at all from any side. Because it took me a little bit to figure out how to activate them, because it just would not activate when I bumped into it. And I'm like, okay, do I hit it? No. What do I do? I eventually walked in front of it and it worked. Purification's interesting because it counterbalances corruption, which makes the game harder. Purification brings it back down in difficulty. But it comes with a lot of experience gain multiplier. Also, note the fact that we have over 1,000% experience gain. We had a little bit of a bonus to it. Just a little bit. Which is why we're leveling so quickly, even at level 64. Like, it is incredibly breakable. But bear in mind, I can still die. Like, I absolutely could still die right now. This man right here, he could end me. Him and his 500,000 hit points. Where even is he? He's over there. Because they added a safety mechanic to the bosses compared to where they were before, in that they actually get invulnerability phases. So you can't just dunk on them straight away. Now he can fire freely at me until I clear out enough of his minions that he can be vulnerable again. It makes for a much more interesting fight than, oh hey, I just demolished him in seconds. Guess I'm just gonna move along now. Not that they last especially long, especially these early bosses, but it's a thing. Ooh, Ice Nova's another one I've never seen. Slow-moving nova of ice spawning icicles around itself. I mean, that sounds like it fits into what we're doing. And we can immediately upgrade it. I will say two things though. One, after a certain point, goodbye bitrate. Two, if you don't understand what's happening on screen, don't worry. I don't either after a certain point. I'm just here for the ride. It's one of those things. Number go burr and you watch the screen disappear. Ooh, we got a shield now. Minus power, though. Sad. Who wants minus power? Now, you'll notice we only have one place to go. Presumably, as they go along, they're going to be adding more branches to this. But right now, it's the same standard Ember Dunes that was always Zone 2 before. And we got a lot of pathing options. I say as I just go, ooh, there's a chest, and go running that way. Immediately. Yeah, now the sword ranks and things will stand out a bit better, too. Oh, that's how the ice novas work. I thought it was a, like, self-centered nova, not a throw orb and then nova happens. I don't know if those novas are going to get to do much, considering they're shot where I'm aiming, which is also where the Deathbeam is. Things will have to survive the Deathbeam in order for the novas to happen. Which probably, in hindsight, explains why we didn't see any action out of them before. Okay, the hardest part about completing this optional objective is just going to be having enough targets to hit. There we go. Grab the little void thing so we get all the gems. There is a relic that guarantees you half of everything that's on the board at the end of a stage as well, which is always nice to have. Let's go and grab the Rune of Heaviness, as silly a name as that is. Oh, say its name and it shall appear. Soul Gauntlet automatically attracts 50% of all leftover soul gems, food, and coins at the end of every stage. It's a beautiful thing. I'm just out here predicting the future. Actually, I'm going to take this because it overall will make the corruption higher, even though the base purification goes up, because it cuts down the purification multiplier. But what I really want about it is the fact that it raises the enemy count. More targets. More things to kill. Okay, it doesn't look like anything's gone weird yet. Just wanted to check on OBS and make sure it wasn't losing its mind. Oh, there we go. Ooh, that's a new card. That wasn't around before. Makes your projectiles slower, but makes them have significantly more duration. That's actually huge. It's nice to see that I still have more things to unlock thanks to all the updates. This is a good one to grab after I finish Void Spirit, but I'll grab one level of it as well. Oh, now. We lose some pickup range, but all of our attacks gain area. Sure, who needs health? Pure power, pure death, pure power, pure death. Actually, oh yeah, the Rune of Heaviness. I don't want it on the Arcane Beam. I actually want it on the Staff of Storms. I wanted to see if if this was per card or if it's everything, and the answer is it's to everything, which is what I wanted. I can't promise that it'll be dangerous gameplay for much of this run, considering this laser is kinda busted, it seems. You know what I kind of wish would happen, though? I kind of wish extra projectiles would just make the beam split. And you just, like, have a sweet rave party going on of lasers everywhere. But it's fine. You will notice it's not doing nearly as much damage to these elites anymore. They are holding up against it. It just takes a bit of time to kill them now. But that's what the defense shredding's for, because you'll notice slowly, as we hit them longer, it does start chewing through. And that's with a near 500% power multiplier. This game is built on ridiculous numbers. That's what it's about. So if you're not about the concept of number go burr, this isn't gonna be for you. This is peak number go burr. You know what? More double-edged sword. Give me all of the negative defense. A harsh breeze will obliterate us, but all things before us will die. Fire the laser! It's like I could get a bunch of damage mitigation and such right now, but you know what that would do? Nothing now. Get it out of here. With how much negative defense we have, all I would do is actually, I think, make it worse rather than better by raising our defense multiplier. We've almost maxed out the Staff of Storms. Oh, this is actually a good time to note something in the settings, actually. Down here in video... Is it not? No, it's not video, it's game options. There is a projectile cap. You could per weapon, there is a cap. I actually raised the projectile cap. It's ordinarily, I think, somewhere down here by like 200. I went ahead and pushed it to 600. There's also a weapon cap you could turn off. Take note of the fact that it literally says on it, setting it to unlimited is highly unadvised for performance reasons. Because once upon a time, there were no such caps or anything, and the game could reach a point where it would slow down horrifically. Because, you know, players being what they are, they will do goofy shit. And it it gets to be as you'd expect it to. Also, hi, I am one of those players. I definitely did make my game nearly crash a couple times. We'll go ahead and take the other level of trade-off to get it out of the pool, even though it'll cut down our projectiles a little bit. There's a shop over there and 2 chests, so we'll go this way. We're not getting nearly as many of the interesting results out of the question marks. We're just getting a lot of fights. Which fights aren't a bad thing to get. But I would have rathered have some of the interesting events show up so you guys get to see them. Because there are some events that are actually kind of neat. Oh yeah, there's also these statues that can give you temporary buffs. Like this one gives me a 50% damage multiplier, because clearly that's what I need. More damage. More DACA. I could start getting my defense out of the hole, but why would I do that? Yes, this is the better answer. Yes, this is the correct answer, game. Yes. Let me hit them harder. Who needs shurikens? Get them out of here. Could upgrade the Rune of Heaviness, but no. There we go. You also notice some larger crystals laying around. That's because I forget if it's combining crystals for performance reasons or if some enemies just drop larger ones instead of dropping a bunch of crystals. It might be both. We're almost to 7 times damage. Which it's not directly that, but you get the idea. We definitely want this, because projectiles are going to be the biggest bane of our existence. If I want that chest, I have to go here. Because then I go to the chest over here. Go here, go shop. Go here, go chest. It's either that or I go here, go shop. Here, chest. Actually, I kind of like this path better, though. I can hit the elite and still go here, too. So let's take the elite, because the elite will pay off more. Optional, don't take any damage. We'll see. I might make a stupid mistake standing still somewhere and take damage. Because I'm focusing on trying to clear the elites out. Yes! One of my favorite ones, recursion. Especially to see it at this point. Gives a... Speaking of my favorite things, projectiles break down into 3 smaller projectiles. This is the performance killer sometimes. Especially with things like the sword rangs and the tons of projectiles we have from the thunder staff right now. All of the projectiles break into smaller projectiles on contact, and, well, it gets stupid. Which is exactly what I want. It is such a blessed and cursed bonus all in one. Oh yeah, there's the counterpoint to the subsonic is hypersonic. I don't know what would happen if I had both. I presume there's a balance point between them, but I don't know if it's positive or negative. I don't want that. Get that out of here. Let's finish off Pyromaniac so there's less gold cards in the pool. That's recursion finished. It's highly recommended you finish off cards where you can so that you get them out of the pool if you're aiming for efficiency. There we go. Don't have to worry about upgrading the Staff of Storms anymore. I can just periodically just emit a double layered ring now. Oh no. It seems like the stronger the staff gets, the more rings it emits when I use the active ability. Oh, that is disgusting, and I am so here for it. Ooh, this is another really nice, unique to this area. It gives you a bit of corruption, but it gives you defense, it gives you health, it gives you power, it gives you dash charges. What's not to like? Just good all around. And the little bit of corruption you get from it usually isn't enough to be a problem compared to the benefit of it. We could just start puking acid, but no. I don't actually like that one that much. Sure. Since I am constantly wandering around to make sure we keep picking things up. Heroic cards are 200% more likely to appear. That'll be great. There's Crystal Sword again. I could pull the Crystal Sword out now, but no. Yeah, let's go for the shop now and then take the chests. There's the limit break service I was talking about. Allow a card to be leveled above its max level. Oh, it applies to these now too. That didn't used to do that I know of. That used to only be for weapons. Oh no. Oh no. Oh game, you should not have done this. This was a mistake. So how about that 500% more power? Oh, they have made a mistake giving me this much power. Everything's gonna be deleted on contact. No. Yes. I should not have been granted this type of power. This was an irresponsible thing they've done here. Ooh, synergy of Fire Spirit and Scented Jar. Enemies that die while affected by Fire Spirit spread the fire to nearby enemies. Yes, please. Burning all the peasants. Sure. Start giving me more gold gain. You know what? Sure, we need another weapon. Spew explosive vials in all directions. The saddest thing with the explosive vials is I don't see them exploding. And I don't know if that's a setting or if they just did that so that it wasn't just a nightmare of explosions going off constantly. Which it would be understandable. Considering, just look at the projectile nightmare we have happening already, and yeah, it would get to be a problem. But credit where it's due, this many enemies on screen and this amount of projectiles in effect, and it's still not even draining power like at all. For reference, CPU and RAM are sitting at like 40 at the highest of either when things are going apeshit. And I'm streaming this at 60. So, just keep that in mind, just as to how actually pretty effective this game is as far as that goes. It's kind of impressive. Whereas I've had games like this that look worse, run far worse, with less going on. 50% more experience gain. Grab all the extra experience, more explosive vials. Go ahead and upgrade Contagious Fire. This is just pure ridiculous. But that's what this is for. This type of game usually is just a pure power fantasy game. Which is like, how stupid a thing can you make happen and just tear through everything on screen to an asinine degree? I could grab the Phoenix Totem, but that's too easy. There we go, we'll go ahead and max out the vials. To re-roll that away so I'm not tempted. Magic Wisp is fun, but no. More Thunder Spirit, yes please. Sad. I would have liked those 6 rarity re-roll charges, but it's fine. Go ahead and do this arena, which is just kill lots of elites again. Okay. Fire the laser! Let none survive. All shall perish beneath my gaze. We actually need to get our base power up more as well, because all of the damage percentage in the world doesn't help if your base power is terrible. Like 500 times 5 is still not as impressive as it could otherwise be if it was like 10 or 20. Not that our base power is anything to sneeze at per se, because it's 14.6 right now. But you get the idea. Projectile piercing is also kind of important for a setup like this, because if your projectiles are stopped by the first enemy they hit, it doesn't matter how much damage they do, you're still not going to make it through the crowd in a meaningful way. Yeah, armor polish, good joke. But coin though? But what about money? Like, we kind of demolished our coin gain a little bit, so we really do need to get that back up if I want to really make use of these shops. Not that I need to, per se. Oh yeah, this is the thing with arenas, by the way, is you're actually locked in within a zone instead of having free reign to run around. The funny thing about having free reign to run around in this game, though, is enemies just get teleported if you run too far from them. So it kind of doesn't matter. But if you're actually having trouble in getting hemmed in, these arenas can be incredibly dangerous. Because you can't modify where the enemies are by, like, forcing them off screen. Since runs in this game last a decent while, as far as the YouTube upload goes, this will probably be another one where I split it by run. And I'll just like make a playlist later if people want to see the whole thing in one batch. I mean, sure, just flat extra projectiles. Go ahead and keep giving me more corruption. More enemies but less health for them. Absolutely. Like, that's not even a question. And I'll go ahead and take the reroll charges. I am now completely fucking broke again, right in front of a blacksmith. So let's take the arena so we can get the money, because I don't think that question mark's gonna net me as much money as the arena will. Unless it happens to question mark into a chest, which it probably won't. My luck so far has not been that good for that. Ooh, that's a fun one. Also, apparently our critical chance was way higher than I thought. Not sure how that happened. Oh wait, no, these are currently on absolute, not relative settings. So it only tells you what it actually does to the flat stat, I think. You know what? Sure, though. We can always fix our critical rate later. Look at the icicles flying all over the screen. We did not actually get much money out of that, so that was actually a mistake, I think. I was too busy laughing at Icicle Storm to actually grab the coins. Yeah, that's way too expensive for me. Yeah, the thing with the blacksmith is they typically sell weapon cards. We have shop locking because of what I just purchased a little bit ago, so I could lock one of these to be guaranteed in the next blacksmith, but I don't want any of these. I may as well take the card selection. The fire ring could be really funny. This is a good way to show you guys most of the other weapons that are in the game, though. If I just cycle through this for a little bit. Well, guess it's the shaman staff, because I got rid of the thing I did want to show things off. But you know, that's just how it goes sometimes. Unfortunately, the altar's charged with time, not with killing, so I still have to kind of hang out at these. You know, sometimes I really question whether what I'm doing here should be allowed. And the answer is absolutely it should, because it's hilarious. But I I feel like this laser should be outlawed. It is too much. So I think in future runs I'm not gonna use this. Because everything else we have going on is stupid as well, but the beam is definitely the powerhouse of this set right now. It's just point and thing goes away. And the fact that we've got so much charge time on it and such now, I can just spin to win. Hello, Sandworm. You've got multiple phases to protect you from dying instantly to my shenanigans. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, it's just showing me the weapons I had grabbed. Oh, Fractal's only on one thing now? Oh, no. No wonder I haven't seen it going completely ape. That's okay. I have a plan. Because we don't really get to use the Staff of Storms directly that much because of how many things we've got going on. So splitting explosive vials is gonna be hilarious. The boss is over here somewhere. There he is. Get melted, nerd. This is where it gets dangerous. I could actually die here because its attacks are very good at catching me, because I don't have a lot of speed boosting or anything. So I just need to kill fast, or I just will get eviscerated before I even know what's happening. Much like what's happening to him. That could have been me. We did it. Ooh, shops contain more and better items. Yes, please. Also, yes, you read that right. That experience was in the billions. Don't worry too much about that. To the crystal depths we go. Zone 3. This is where it starts getting real sketchy. Even with as strong as we are, this could still go horribly wrong. It's a real neat looking place, though. Because as you can see, it gets real spooky real fast around here. Like, if you thought things were getting dangerous before, this is when the game stops holding back. Because by comparison, they were playing nice before. Like, you may have noticed that one touch from that guy was half my health. Which, of course, you know, we have negative defense and terrible health to begin with, but that makes the point a little less harsh there, but just trust me when I say this area is where the good builds get separated from the fun builds. Hand of the Cheater gives us an extra card in every card selection. This is where we start getting our crit chance up, so we can start chewing through the harder defense they have, too. And of course, more defense piercing. Because as you might imagine from a bunch of rock and crystal boys, they are tanky. Nothing's tanky against the gigantic death laser, of course. But, you know. It does take sustained fire from the Deathbeam for them to give in and die. Hey, kill 1 million enemies. And no, that's not a 1 million this run. That's 1 million at all, I think. Which I really feel like I should have hit that marker a while ago with how much I've played this, but maybe there's less enemies per run than I thought. I keep thinking about the cleaver, because the cleaver's fun, especially with the amount of projectiles we have already. But I think I'm better off not at the moment. Start removing some of the lower end cards. 12.19 billion experience. That's probably gonna be like a level or two. Sure, 1000% critical damage multiplier, but I have no health. Hey, Divine Smite now. Synergy of absolute focus and analysis. Critical hits instantly kill non-boss enemies when their health is below 13%. Ooh. Ooh. I like it. Let's go to the shop with our 21,000 coins. More projectiles. I can just keep lowering my health like a psycho. Sure, give me Fire Ring now, because I feel like I'm gonna need it with what I've done. Multiplier plus yes. 100% health regen multiplier, and you can double your max health with your regen. More analysis. Max out the shaman staff so we don't have to see it anymore. Get some more banish charges. This is where this gets really dumb. Like, if you thought it was dumb before, don't worry, we have not yet begun to dumb. Because there are layers that I can still reach. Onward! Analysis. So yeah, now I've just got a pulsing fire AoE around me in addition to the Ring of Death from the lightning balls. So anything that gets past the lightning has to deal with nearly 2k damage every few seconds just to finish approaching me. Like, this setup is getting dumb. Literally, there's two things that can kill us right now. And I'm gonna say them out loud even though it's gonna risk speaking into existence. One, an enemy that can teleport onto me, which do exist. Two, a lot of projectiles. Both of which do exist and are likely to happen before too much longer. Especially once we get to the boss of this section. Let's go ahead and get us a bunch more projectiles. Get our crit chance up some more. A couple of the things we have I think can't crit. Like, I think the Fire Ring can't crit. It's either the Fire Ring or the Death Aura or both that can't crit. There we go. Now we're guaranteed to get every soul gem we get. Is with Void Spirit level 2, it's 100% chance to summon the soul crystal straight to you. Which is disgusting. Which is exactly why it's one of my favorite cards, because it means your pickup range doesn't matter, aside from for money now. Like, look how much they're surviving my attacks right now. This is why I say you have to get kind of ridiculous, especially with the amount of corruption I've let build up, which is a multiplier by which they get stronger. Like, they are sustaining a wild amount of damage. Like, look at this. Some of them are hitting over 1 million damage dealt to them. This one in particular, 13 million to kill it. It's so stupid. I love it. There we go. Fire ring's maxed out now. Everything around me is in trouble. It is just peak absurdity. Like, this is exactly what this genre is meant to be. All of the ridiculous power of an action RPG you've run distilled down into like an hour or so of just pure insanity. Left or right? Left or right? Coin, how about you decide for me? Right it is, okay. Since they were both chests, it's like I don't have any meaningful way to make the decision here. Food heals for more, 27.7 billion experience. Yeah, you know what? Let's get greedy now so that I can start getting our gold gain up. Now for the mid-boss. Because there's mid-bosses now. That's the level we've hit getting into stage 3. Is they start adding in mid-bosses, which have champion enemies instead of elite enemies. And listen to that music. That's how you know I'm in deep shit now. They've changed the music. Like, these guys will sustain a lot of damage before they go. And a bunch of them split as well, so I gotta watch out for that and not walk into the splitting enemies and die a stupid death that way. Okay, Frenzy, get out of here. Go ahead and finish Revolution so it stops showing up. Speaking of things stop showing up, get out of here, defense bonuses. Nobody needs defense. He says moments before he needs defense because he gets touched once and he explodes. Because even with our doubled health, I'm pretty sure one good hit is going to be the end of us. Oh, this is getting sketchy now. Oh no. There's a lot of stuff all around us. This is no good. Yeah, that's part of the problem. This right there, the fact that I've nuked my attack speed a bit. You'll notice the beam's much more focused now, but it's hitting harder. Slay the boss. Because fun fact, none of that was the boss. All of that was just a lead up to the actual mid-boss, which is this guy. This big bastard right here with his, I don't know, probably like 30 million hit points that was before I chipped it down. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. That's the last level of Thunder Spirit, so that stops popping up. By the way, that wasn't the end of his health bar. We're dead now. That's what I was talking about with being worried about splitting enemies. Because if you glass cannon out too hard, guys like him will just eat